Hello and welcome to the program. Chernobyl might soon become an unlikely site of state-of-the-art eco-friendly technologies. For many people, the name Chernobyl instantly brings to mind the devastating nuclear disaster which happened more than 30 years ago in Ukraine. But a new legacy might change the ruins of the power plant into a hotspot for sustainable energy. Joining us in the studio to discuss this and more is Vitaliy Demyanyuk. He's a board member at the Chernobyl Research and Development Institute in Kyiv. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
So Ukraine's ecology minister has been pitching Chernobyl to foreign and home investors as a potential hotspot to develop environmentally friendly energy, solar energy. Now, what do you know about the steps that are being currently taken to realize this?
First of all, I think that this is very good idea, because our main aim is to revitalize exclusion zone, to bring back life into the exclusion zone, and to start develop exclusion zone. And exactly this huge landscape could be place where we can situate it quite big volumes of renewable energy, especially solar generation.
And solar generation is something that your company has been trying to develop in that particular area?
Oh, in my case, the Chernobyl Research and Development Institute, this is NGO, this is a non-government organization, and we are trying to support this type of project, and actually project Chernobyl Solar also is supported by us. We are trying to promote, and in this case it absolutely fits to the policy of the ministry.
It's such an unlikely place where solar energy could be developed. It's the site of the biggest nuclear disaster.
This is from the first glimpse, but if we will look on it a little bit deeper, we will see that the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exists in the former time. So, and the installed capacity of Chernobyl nuclear power plant was 4,000 megawatts. And main grid infrastructure is ready, or it exists, and now it could be used for different type of electricity generation, especially for the solar. And at the same time, we have big volumes of the land. We have big landscape that cannot be used for any other purposes, or can be used but in very limited way. So why not?
But all of that land has dangerous radioactive presence still there.
You mean the level of contamination?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
I would say that for the current moment, I mean Ukraine, the government and the administration of the exclusion zone, we know the level of contamination and type of contamination inside exclusion zone. And when we are talking about some particular places where solar panels can be situated, it means that in these particular territories, the level of contamination allows us to build and to operate this type of objects.
So workers could potentially be there.
Yes, if they will be taking care about safety and about the rules of radioactive safety, yes, it's safe.
So what precautions would the workers have to take, say, to have a normal working day in this zone while working on solar panels while creating this?
I would say that these precautions could be just a regular that already we used inside exclusion zone when the people are working on Chernobyl nuclear power plant or another enterprises inside exclusion zone. Or I will give you example, international huge consortium just to finalize the construction of new safe confinement. People know how to manage it.
I see. Now, can you give us like a rough estimate of how much this would cost, and how long would it actually take to turn it into a huge solar power, potentially solar power industry or solar power company, or some kind of solar power energy source?
In this case, it depends on installed capacities that we want to build, because more or less we understand how much it costs to build 1 megawatts installed capacity. So if we will be able, or if we will bring investors inside exclusion zone for 100 megawatts or 500 megawatts, or I think hopefully for 1 gigawatts, so it just will multiply the total volume. So it's economically, it's possible to calculate, it's possible to estimate. But briefly, I can say that approximately 1 megawatts cost approximately €1 million or $1 million.
And how many of these megawatts would you need?
How I would say that how many megawatts we can build, because exactly inside exclusion zone for the current moment we can consider till 1 gigawatt, till 1,000 megawatts installed capacity.
So it'd be millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, it's $1 billion.
I see.
It's huge. Yes, it's huge. But actually, this is like a project, the whole project. But it could be built in the smaller pieces.
So you would take some time to build parts of it before putting it all together.
Absolutely, it depends on appetite of investors. I think Ukraine is very welcome different type of investors and different size of investors. Investors that are ready to build 10 megawatts will be welcome, and investors that are ready to build 500 megawatts also will be welcome.
I see. So quite a few plans ahead there. Now, I understand your company has been working towards
Institute, you mean?
Institute has been working towards helping to clear away some of the nuclear waste in other parts of Ukraine. They've been working together.
We research and perform some engineering job as well.
And how well has that been going? What has been done to clear away some of the nuclear waste in other parts? There was a village that has been cleared of radioactive waste, I understand.
You mean Vakulenchik, probably?
That's right.
It's not a village. It calls Vakulenchik Burial because it's situated close to the village Vakulenchik. It's something different than Chernobyl exclusion zone. This is a particular project which has been implemented as a part of the agreement between Ukraine, between the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine and the NATO Support and Procurement Agency. And this project is a pilot from my point of view and from point of view of our colleagues from NATO and from state agency. We had success. And now this particular historical burial of radioactive materials, radioactive waste, is decommissioned and removed from Vakulenchik to some special places, including Chernobyl exclusion zone. So now the place is safe. So we make country more clean and much more safer.
I see. So now people can potentially buy houses there and...
Oh, for the moment there are military base.
I see.
So, but still, even on this military base in the forest, where this military base is situated, it's clean territory. It's greenfield. This is the first experience, I think, even in the country, when the decommission and removing of historical burial of radioactive waste and radioactive materials were finalized by greenfield.
And this is a huge step for Ukraine.
Yeah, it's quite interesting engineering work. And for Ukraine, this is a step which shows very significant things, that we can organize good cooperation with other partners from NATO supported procurement agency.
And that Ukraine can deliver on those promises.
This is efficiency.
I see. Now, you said some of the waste has been removed to Chernobyl as well.
To Chernobyl exclusion zone, to the special enterprises which aimed to store it.
Now, going back to Chernobyl, now there's been a lot of talk that a lot of the wildlife has been preserved there for decades. And it can potentially be used as a place where environmentalists can study how animals and plants and flora and fauna develops and especially in such kind of interesting circumstances.
This is one of the directions where exclusion zone could be developed, because thanks God, for the current moment, we have the law and we have the decree of the President of Ukraine that inside exclusion zone will be organized special national natural reserve. So it will allow to save the nature and to provide some, I think, the wide range of researchers in this area.
And do you think foreign investors will be interested?
In the nature reserve?
Yes.
You know, foreign investors will be interested in the country which have in the mind natural reserve, because this is an indicator of the culture which includes investment climate. So this is a level of development of the nation.
Has any environmental agencies been in touch to find out more about these projects that you're helping develop?
I think that it's not my cup of tea. Yes, it's more state agency can say a little bit wider about it. But exactly for the current moment, the state agency which is charged in the management of the exclusion zone has a lot of contacts with international counterparty, including in this area.
And this would help develop essentially that particular area of Ukraine. And what do you see happening in this excursion zone in the next 10 years, 20 years? How do you see it actually developing?
You want to see what the vision? Yes,
yes,
I have.
Your vision.
I have a dream.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think that Chernobyl should be territory of change. It can be territory of energy, especially renewable energy. It can be, and I hope, I strongly believe it will be territory of engineering, because even now we have quite many different, very complicated engineering objects. It will be territory of nature, and it will be territory of adventure, because this territory is also very, very interesting for the visitors all around the world.
I see. I like your rebranding of Chernobyl,
Yes,
an area of change. Thank you so much for coming into the studio today.
Thank you.
You have been watching UA TV.